What is the capital of Africa? Imagine if all the countries in Africa would reform into a United States of Africa. Imagine all the resources that they would be sitting on. United, they would match the Chinese in numbers. They would have an BNP turnover that would leave the Americans and the entire West in the dust, as they would be competing to become number one amongst the other BRICS countries of the free world. The United States of Africa would be a nation that isn't landlocked in any direction, is connected by a land bridge to the Middle East, and has total control of the Strait of Gibraltar. So tell me, what is the capital of Africa? If you all could agree on that, then the future would be prosperous. As things start looking up, you better start preparing for Western refugees, as their former empire will start to crumble, as they will start to fight amongst themselves. Now, let's get cynical for a bit. Let's see if there might be some civilized values you might want to embrace from such a highly developed civilization as the West. Let us study how the West handles human aid in a blazing war zone. You might be fooled into thinking you will get the most value out of money spent in camps outside the war zone, just because they will buy much more aid or reach more victims. But here you can actually learn something from the West. You should spend the main part of your resources on the small number of refugees that already have their own resources to make it all the way to your border. That way, you will get most of their highly educated people, which you might need for your own growth as a welfare superpower. If you get doctors and already highly educated refugees, you don't have to educate them, and you will get the most value out of the money spent. As you are coming out on top, you also have to make sure that the West stays down by being divided and weak. So if you notice two bordering countries that seem to get along, then you fund the opposition in each country with the money you make from selling stockpiles of weapons to its sitting governments, and when you gain control, you start a war between them. As the ancient proverb suggests, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And if you could get along within the family for just a little bit to take on the real elephant within the room, then it would be both possible and plenty of time to resolve anything else that still might be bothering some of the people without burning the entire house to the ground. Now you've got 4 priorities, and fighting amongst yourselves isn't one of them. 1. Unite the continent. Don't forget about Madagascar. 2. Get at least 600 to 700 interballistic and hypersonic nuclear missiles for delivery from the ground, air, and submarines that will act as a nuclear triad and deterrent through mutually assured destruction. 3. Create your own African currency with a gold standard. 4. What is the capital of Africa?